Okay, let's just kick things off with a statement that seems to fly in the face of, well, everything we hear about AI. Despite billions being poured in and nonstop headlines, a massive survey of executives reveals that not much is really changing. So, how can that be?
And that is exactly what we're digging into today. This whole contradiction, we're calling it the AI paradox. We're going to explore this huge gap between the world-changing promise of AI and what's actually happening on the ground.
You see, on one side of this paradox, you've got what can only be described as a global gold rush. The amount of money and strategic planning going into this stuff is absolutely staggering.
We're talking about entire nations mobilizing. I mean, take India. They're teaming up with giants like NVIDIA to build out their national AI mission. The goal? To transform everything, from enterprise services all the way to their biggest manufacturing sectors.
And it's not just countries. Tech titans like Meta are locked into these huge, multi-year, even multi-generational partnerships also with NVIDIA to basically build the foundational infrastructure that's going to power their entire future.
This is happening all over the planet. For example, Japan is laser-focused on developing its own sovereign AI capabilities. They're even using specialized models to do it. Meanwhile, other nations are all scrambling to find their own strategic partners in this race.
The pace is just relentless. I mean, companies like Google, they're not just thinking about the next few months. They are already planting their flag in the calendar years from now, signaling that this is a long-term, all-in kind of commitment.
Okay, so all this investment, all this planning, it's undeniable. But let's flip the coin. What's actually happening inside businesses today?
And this brings us right back to that paradox. There was this huge study by the National Bureau of Economic Research. They talked to thousands of executives across the US, the UK, Germany, and Australia. And the findings were pretty stark. The vast majority are saying that, so far, AI has had little to no real impact on their operations.
Which, of course, raises the big question. If all the money and motivation are there, why aren't the results? Well, it seems the missing link isn't just about throwing more money at the problem. It's about a fundamentally new kind of technology. And the blueprint for that, it's being built in research labs right now.
To crack this problem, researchers are tackling it head-on. They're coming up with entirely new ways to make AI more capable, more autonomous, and just more effective in the real world.
One of the key breakthroughs is this idea of agentic engineering. Now, this isn't just about making AI bigger. It's about making it smarter. We're talking about upgrading AI from a tool that just follows instructions to an active partner that can actually reason, write code, and execute complex plans all on its own.
Another huge piece of the puzzle is data. So, to get around the bottleneck of real-world data, researchers are creating these incredibly realistic simulations. This lets them train AI agents safely and super fast on a scale you just couldn't get otherwise, getting them ready for pretty much any scenario.
And here's the really crucial part. This research isn't just staying in the lab. It's quickly getting packaged into actual, tangible tools that developers and businesses can use to finally bridge that gap between all the hype and the reality.
We're seeing a whole wave of new products hitting the market that go way beyond simple AI. You've got tools like Spectre for agentic coding, security for keeping these autonomous agents secure, and Baseline Core, which is an open-source way to plug these new skills right into your business. This is where the rubber finally starts to meet the road.
But as these incredibly powerful, autonomous tools start to spread, they bring up a new, super complex challenge. And this one isn't just about technology anymore. It's about global politics and, really, who holds the power.
It forces us to ask a really fundamental question, one that world leaders and CEOs and all of us are starting to grapple with. When this level of intelligence becomes a critical resource, who gets to control it?
The experts at Stanford's AI Institute call this a definitional dilemma. Basically, nations all over the world are scrambling for AI sovereignty, but nobody can even agree on what that means for a technology that by its very nature doesn't care about borders.
So you end up with this massive tension. On the one hand, everybody wants to harness the incredible potential of AI, but on the other hand, we have a serious lack of clear rules to govern it. You can see this playing out right now with things like the EU AI Act, where policymakers are really struggling to find that balance between innovation and regulation.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty crucial thought. In this incredible global race to build and deploy artificial intelligence, maybe the biggest challenge isn't a technical one.
Maybe it's whether we, as a global community, can actually agree on how to steer this powerful technology before it starts to steer us.